During that time, they went through 2 other pastors, and it wasn't very happy, and there were a lot of bickering and fighting, which is good Baptist practice, as I'm told. Baptists are good at splitting and forming other groups and new groups, but it's not a very productive way. I like that, we want to be able to love well and not fight well, but they fought really well, and the church started to really die, and that's what Bullard says, is if you keep going down, the church dies more and more and more, and the focus comes more and more on just managing the building. And it comes at the end at a death places where it's just a last person out, just turn off the lights. They were down to a place where there were about 15 people every Sunday coming to worship. They were searching for a senior pastor, and it's been 3 years, 4 years, still they couldn't find a new pastor. They had part-time interims, attendance kept going down, and there was a point, I wasn't here yet, so thank goodness, there was a point where they had to ask the question, is it time to close the doors? Which I think, for churches that are stuck in this cycle, and then keep going downward, this is an important question to ask, because it's a question when they really were asking, what are we about? Are we about just maintaining this building and maintaining a cemetery? Or are we about something more than this? And they decided that we're about something more. And they even said, if we were to close the doors, we would still gather together and worship at someone's home. Which I think was a profound thing for them to say, and was the beginning of their turn out of that downward cycle and into a new upward cycle. It was the beginning of reclaiming the reason why they were there, the reason why they gathered. And that was because God had gathered them there because they had a commitment to Christ, and that the building wasn't the be-all and end-all. The institution wasn't the be-all and end-all of their existence. It's that the community was more important. From there, they started to grow again, slowly and slowly. And maybe 2 years after they made that decision, they were back up to about 25 people on a Sunday. This is huge. And that's when they called me. By then, I was ready. And when I got there, it was about 25 people a Sunday. And this was 4 years ago. And we've been working and we've been struggling. What we did, and in the first year I got there, and they took a big risk calling me. They took a big risk for a couple of reasons. One is they didn't have a lot of people every Sunday, so there was a question of how are we going to support a pastor full time. Another was, are we going to be able to continue? Another is also that I'm still, relatively younger as far as pastors go, and do I know what I'm doing? I'm sure you never asked that with your pastor here. Does he know what he's doing? He seems very, very adept at his job. We entered into a study that the PBA has been working, the Philadelphia Baptist Association has been pushing, called the Empowered Study, where what it is we looked at our story. We said, what has our story been thus far? And what do we want our story to be in the next 3 to 5 years? And we came up with a story, with a story that was like a vision, and not a statement, but a whole, full-page narrative that says we want to grow into this church that supports families, that has a good music program, that's powerful in worship, that has a presence in the community. And so we came up with this good story, and we started living into it. And what it did was it gave us a sense of a plateau, a sense of just stability. And in that time, we've been growing slowly and slowly. When, one year we had 10 people join, another year we had 5 people join, and not many people leave. They don't hate me yet, and not many deaths. So these are all good things. So the church has been growing slowly, and now we average about 50 people on a Sunday, which is really good. I mean, that's That's 100. I doubled our attendance. I can't do percentages, but the math people out there will already know what the percentage is. Our service has doubled in size. Not me. God did that. And it's been a place of finally we have a sense of stability. We're starting to reclaim our sense of identity as a Christian body. There still is this tension of a fidelity towards the institution, and I think that will always exist. That will always be we've got to make sure the church survives. But that tension isn't as strong anymore because they've already been to that place of having to think about letting go. And now it's more, how can we be a good, vital Christian community?